Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Back from Europe, my brother from another mother sitting right next to me, Mr. Derek Green. Thank you for being here again, my friend. Missed you.
Thanks for having me back.
Chappelle Lacey hold it down a couple days.
What are you talking about?
he pulled up for a couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, man. I love you.
Okay, all right.
But today we got my man. I've known this kid for a long, long time. Seen him grow and blossom into the man he is today. All his different musical things he does. We're going to get into all that shit.
The endeavors.
Mr. Justice Tripp. You know what's interesting? Welcome here, bro. Welcome.
What's up?
Thanks for being here.
Good to be here.
You spell it. Do people call you Justice or Justice?
It's like a weird nickname that a friend gave me a long time, but Jurdis. And then there's a weird thing where people think that's my real name and Justice is the nickname.
Yeah.
So then people I don't know start calling me Jurdis, which is weird. But
is it your stage name or is this your real name?
It's all just for my real name. Justice was my birth name, and that's what I prefer. But yeah, my family, we all got dumb, weird names.
That's a great name.
What are some other names?
My sister's name is London, spelled wrong. I think it's actually spelled wrong. I don't think it was on purpose.
What? How's it spelled?
I like Londin.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And then my brother's name, if I'm not mistaken, at birth on his birth certificate was Jeremiah Weed, like hyphenated. Jeremiah Weed.
Wow.
As in one name. But that's just Jeremy, and that's definitely his legal name. I could be wrong, but I think at birth it was. That's at least what he's named after. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn, your parents sound cool.
Yeah, there's really wild parents for sure.
Were they like hippies?
More like psychopaths. Just
okay.
My mom's like a psychopath, but she's like the best kind of psychopath.
Okay.
Like the kind that you want as your mom.
Yeah. So you only have a sister.
I got a sister. I got two sisters and two brothers.
Oh wow!
What's the other sister's name?
Nicole. She has
she got the normal one.
She got the normal one. So there's like a interesting. We didn't know about her until I was about 14 or 15. Oh wow! It was my father's like little secret daughter.
Wow!
And there's details. I don't know what's appropriate to share, but
you can say anything you want. But I'm wondering if the name, since her name was a normal name like Nicole, did they spell it like nickel or something?
Oh no. I think my mom was more into the crazy names. That was like more of her thing. And this is my dad's daughter.
Yeah.
And she's incredible. We're really close. But it's just interesting, like to be like, I guess like 14, 15, and then find out you have a sister and she's really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
You're like, damn, this is my sister now. I'm into it.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I want to dead this rumor right here because me and my wife argued about it last night. You're not related to Dan Higgs.
Oh no, that's Clippa.
Okay.
The played guitar and Trapped Under Ice.
Okay, that's his son.
Yeah, they're like it's crazy because he's since when I met Clippa to now, he just is like morphing into Dan Higgs. They're like identical at this point. Okay, it's
my wife is obsessed with Lungfish, and the other night at your show, my wife's like, "Don't turn around. I think Dan Higgs is behind you." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" Everybody thought it was like your dad. So
that'd be so.
Clearing that up. Yeah,
he could be my dad too. He'd be a good dad.
Lungfish is fucking legit.
Yeah, everything he does is cool. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot of like
tattoo artist, you're right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot of cool like solo stuff, and then he did a band called Reptile House, which is probably my favorite.
I saw them back in the day a couple
really?
times. Yeah.
Damn.
At the Loft in Baltimore.
Damn,
that's sick. So Baltimore, shit. So I lived in Maryland, Southern Maryland, for many years. Went to high school there. There was always a thriving scene in Baltimore. I went to a lot of shows there growing up. How was that growing up for you?
I think like Baltimore's obviously a crazy city.
Yeah.
And people think the worst when you say you're from there, and
Because of The Wire?
yeah, because of The Wire. And then with Trapped Under Ice, I would like sing about some of that stuff, and it was like it's real.
Yeah.
I'm not like bullshitting about it, but that doesn't mean my life. I'm never in those songs. Am I saying like I'm out here on these streets and I'm doing all this? You know what I mean? Like I was singing about the streets, but I'd be like I was speaking from the perspective of a scared little kid. You know, like
yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff in Baltimore, and like being a child there is not miserable. You know, it's like I think people get that impression, and
yeah.
I guess it's because I was writing hardcore songs and I wasn't gonna write about like when I got a bike for Christmas or some shit. You know.
Yeah. And so growing up there, how were you in school and stuff?
Pretty good. I got decent grades. I was a safety in elementary school, if that tells you anything. Do you know safety guards?
Yeah, safety guards. Yeah.
They like give you a little badge and you start like trying to like prime you to become a cop, dude.
Wow. So you walk the kids across the crosswalk and stuff like that?
Yeah. And my mom, I think my mom was mad when she found out I was a safety. She was like, don't do that to my kid. Like, don't, you know. My mom's never been about the police.
Okay.
You know.
So were you like, did you play sports in school and stuff like that?
No, I was like definitely like the weirdo, like rocker kid. I had long hair, and I had like lots of 9 Inch Nails shirts when I was a little kid.
Sick.
Like, every day, and like nobody at school knew what that was. When like, there wasn't really none of my peers were into that. But I think I wasn't like an outcast. I think like I had friends and stuff, and people were like, "Oh, that's Justice. He's a rocker. He's a skateboarder or whatever. He's different than us." And it was cool. I felt like I belonged in some capacity. And then, I guess like in high school, you start finding other people who are into what you're into.
Yeah.
I started going to shows when I was like a real little kid, like at the punk shows when I was like
13,
like 10, 11, like just like local punk shows.
Yeah.
Like
who got you into it?
There's a band called Misdirected from Baltimore that was like that got me into a lot of music. Actually, I remember members of Misdirected showing me H2O when I was a kid.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were like the shit. Like everybody wanted to be like them. So like even as early as like 10, 11 years old, like we were all going to their shows. And then about 13 or 14, I guess I was in 9th grade. That's like 13 or 14, right? Yeah. Me and all the homies went and saw Hatebreed and Death Threat and Out to Win.
Wow.
Which is like, some of those people became some of my closest friends.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like, it's like a life-changing show for sure. I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do now.
And that was Hatebreed was way intense. Probably one of the most intense, probably hard shows you went to. Probably, right?
For sure. Yeah. I remember just like not understanding what a mosh pit was on that level. And we were just kids and we were like, we getting in that and just getting annihilated and loving it,
Yeah. So you got into skateboarding around the same time too?
Skateboarding probably earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Just like obsessed with Tony Hawk and wanted to be Tony. I had a flop when I was a little kid. And
Yeah. For the listeners, the hair in front of his face, the Kevin Staub. Yeah, that's sick. And so you trying to just skate ramps and stuff too?
I was really bad. Like I would probably, people are probably gonna hear this, so I can't lie and say that I was good. If nobody was gonna hear it, I'd be like, I was killing that shit. I was doing all the illest shit. But the truth is, I was pretty bad. Mm-hmm. Like did a couple kick flips and shit. I could do like 360 flips and shit.
Yeah.
And thought I was fucking badass. But I guess it wasn't a whole lot of young people skating around me.
Yeah.
Like now it's fucking beautiful, man. Like you like
it's insane. Dude.
Driving around LA and to see like every kid possible.
All kinds of kids, man. All ages.
So, it doesn't like belong to any like group of people or anything like that,
true.
Yeah, for us it was like just punk rock soundtrack on the skate video. It was a hip hop.
Segregated. It was like very closed off.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we found a lot of our music though, from the Bones Brigade videos and all that stuff though.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
But then later on in the 90s, they started having hip hop in the soundtracks and stuff, and that changed the game for sure. I would say for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even if we were breakdancing and skating, it was almost like a separate thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like.
It's true. I mean? Like people, I don't know. They always.
You grew up in Ohio. It's different too.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the scenes are very similar, though. When I talk to people from all around, they're like, "Oh yeah, that was separated, and then it kind of like merged together." But you could see it happening in the '90s, especially with music, with like metal and hardcore.
Yeah.
Really having that crossover time period. You know, where things were just like, "Oh shit, like this is really happening." Like DRI were like the illest punk, and then they would like start adding metal elements into their music. I was like, this is sounding really interesting. And the same with like Agnostic, Even,
Yeah.
You know, and there are some people that are kind of angry, like, what the fuck is going
Cause
on?
for Alarm and then One Voice, all that shit. Those are great records, though.
Yeah.
Just that time.
I used Napster to get into a lot of music. and I remember downloading DRI and being like, oh, there's 2 bands called DRI. This is a different band.
Wow. Was that?
I mean, I was real young, but, you know.
Holy shit. So is Trapped Under Ice named after the Metallica song?
It was like not a conscious decision, but like
You said Napster
were...
the same thing. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Oh yeah, true. Great segue.
But is it named after that?
So like it's funny because we were like exclusively listening to like Hatebreed and Madball and Metallica. That's it. Like we just like squat and we like got into lifting weights around that time.
Yeah.
And Sam from Trapped Under Ice had like a garage with some weights and we just listened to and Biohazard. Like those 4 records on repeat, you know?
Wow.
And just squat. That's like the only exercise we know how to do. It's like
you
terribly
guys are jacked, man. Yeah.
We're jacked for little kids for sure, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, then Sam was like, "Yo, we should call the band. I got this idea, Trapped Under Ice." And I was like, "Damn, how did you ever think of that? That's genius." And like years later, somebody brought it up, and I was like, "Yeah, I bet we stole that for sure."
So were you playing music in school? Like you start playing music in school, or no? Was that after?
I've always played guitar. I got a guitar when I was like a little kid.
Yeah.
It's always been my instrument of choice. Like I never wanted to sing.
Wow.
So I like initially was supposed to play guitar in Trapped Under Ice.
Okay. Interesting.
Like I got a guitar when I was like 6, and then I was just like
self-taught.
Yeah, and then like you know when YouTube came around, you could like YouTube shit, and like I definitely got the benefit from that. I mean, I still YouTube shit, you know, still learning guitar. You know.
Yeah, it was weird because it was the first time I had seen Angel Dust a while ago, but before I knew really the music. And when I saw your show last week, it was so strange for me to see you holding a guitar. Mm-hmm. Just your whole style, everything about it. I know you from Trapped. I just know you as a person, and just playing that guitar. But then when I loved how you weren't here, but it was such a great show because you played all the more melodic and the poppier stuff in the beginning, and then the second half, you took the shit off, and it was like, yo, there's the Justice I know because I never seen it like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So seeing you play guitar, it's so fucking crazy, and just singing, and then going into the harder shit. You know what I mean? Like fuck, man, it was such a great show.
Thank you, man.
And I wrote this down for later on, but I love how the generation now, it's like, if you made a poppy record, if you were a hardcore band, you tried to do something more melodic back in the day, you were sellouts and what label you on, did all that. But the generation now, I love that, like, that Angel Dust can make like a total poppy melodic sing along fucking these 2 EPs and the records, and then play the hardcore shit, and people singing to both of it, and nobody's like, that's too poppy. Right. I love this shit, man.
That's
I love how
so
it's all
cool.
together.
I love that too, because when he told me about it, like he got me totally into it, and I was like, okay, let me check this out. And then I was like, wait a minute, there's 2 bands maybe, because this is, I was like, this cannot be the same band. I was like,
no.
And so I was like going through, and I was like, wait a minute, I think it is. And I was like, let me listen to some older stuff. And I was like, how is this? Oh, okay. I was like, wow, they really, I mean, it's really cool that you could do that and not limit yourself.
I know, man.
Because I think in our generation, it was definitely like people be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Gonna make the same record over and over again.
Like, are you crazy? And
maybe that's
just afraid to do melodical type stuff.
Yeah. Maybe DRI instilled that in me with the Napster effect. You know?
Right.
Well,
I love that, though.
I remember the first time, I feel like the first time I experienced that in my life, ironically, is like H2O Go. Yeah. It's like my older friends being like, oh, this is different. This is like pop music or whatever. Yeah. But that was like me and all my homies' record. We're like,
wow, thank you, man.
This is the one, you know?
Wow.
So it's like, I don't know. It's like, you keep making the same music. It's like, I mean, first off, people have a lot of layers and we feel a lot of things. And I can't sing about the same things. Like I sing a lot about like some kind of depressing stuff with Trapped Under Ice. And it's like, I've done it. I don't have the desire to keep doing it. Mm-hmm. I expressed it. It's kind of depressing to keep going over and over again, you know? And furthermore, it's like, do people say they want to hear that shit, but they don't. And it's like, furthermore, like young people who have the opportunity to go on and download your music or whatever, check it out on Spotify, and they don't want to hear the same shit. It's already been done. There's already people who've done it. There's people who've imitated what's been done. Yeah. And we want to hear something new and exciting, you know?
Yeah. But just being like, because there's a sense of in hardcore growing up, there was this like, I only listen to punk, I only skate, listen to hard music, fuck everything else. You
Yeah.
get like these blinders on. But then for us, hardcore and punk taught us to be open-minded. And I feel like this generation is so open-minded because you love hip-hop, you love pop, you love everything, dude.
Yeah.
And you're not afraid to put in your music. And by doing that, the fans that have been with you for all the stuff you've done, they appreciate it because you're also growing as a human too. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
And just seeing that the other night, all the girls just girls up front, the girls sing on the mics and shit. Like all that energy is such a mixed, diverse crowd. Like I had older friends there in the back. Yeah, I'm just saying, like it was just, it's beautiful to me because you guys Trapped Under Ice. It's almost like this whole crew of kids. It reminds me of the Gorilla Biscuit Youth of Today Judge guys. So they're always in different bands together. They grew up together in Queens, and they're always like jumping on different records and playing with each other.
Yeah.
And you guys come from Baltimore, Virginia, all the East Coast, and you're always doing stuff together. And it's beautiful. And when I saw Trapped Under Ice with him, it was me, him, and Fletcher and Doug from Dag Nasty. We're all watching.
Oh, you
mean the Turnstile show? Turnstile,
yeah.
And I'm like, as an older hardcore dude like in us, I'm like, if I had to never play music again and walk away from this scene, I'd be so happy it's in the hands of all you guys. You know what I mean?
That's so cool.
Because it embodies all this positive energy, lyrically, just everything about it. It's like it encompasses it all together. You know what I'm saying? It's like a mesh medley.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's
because you come from a hardcore. You're like a mini John Joseph to me.
Hey, that's cool. I'll take it. You know?
There was almost a moment you're going to be doing that. I remember that a while ago. Yeah. But just your whole vibe, the whole energy of Trapped Under Ice, and then everything you do now. I don't know. It's refreshing.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate
refreshing,
that.
Man. Because
that's the coolest compliment I could receive. Really.
Of course, man. When I see that, and I wish you were at that show, man. And even Moon knows Trapped Under Ice. She knows you, and she's like, wow. And we brought two friends from Italy. That was their first show since the lockdown. They've been in any live concerts. Mm-hmm. They came here for the that Gucci premiere because my friend did all the makeup in that new Gucci movie just came out.
Oh, wow.
And we took them straight from LAX to your show. She was almost crying, dude. She knew nothing. She knew Trapped Under Ice, but she'd never seen Angel Dust. And they were just like smiling ear to ear like it was their first show back. It was awesome. That's
incredible.
Dude. Yeah, so like I just love that. Anything to say about that?
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna get emotional, get all emo.
It's like, now I really
so cool.
had a chance to listen to Trapped Under Ice, and it was really all new to me, like that whole scene. And then I realized that all your friends are rotating in different bands with different sounds, and it's really the future. I see it. You know, it's really appealing. I think to a lot of people that aren't even into hardcore or anything, which is really cool to see. But Trapped Under Ice was like, damn. You know, it's really. I love it. I can tell that people are really good players. It's super tight, you know, and it's just like everything just really clicks very well. It sounds and the lyrics are pretty brutal. I was like, damn, you know, it's like they're a lot harder than I imagined.
I've been very fortunate to play with like consistently everything I do is with the best players.
Yeah,
you know,
really
like,
good players. Like, I mean, better than, you know, I think when we were younger. I mean, it was like. I mean, you talk to anyone, they're like, yeah, I'm not the best, but it's just the attitude.
It was
which is really true.
Attitude and desire to do it. Yes. You know, that's a lot of young people, I think, like, because stuff's so accessible on the internet, people are content with being at home on the internet.
Right.
I feel like there's less of a desire to, like, go get it, you know, as to where it's like, I wasn't really at home, and Baltimore's not the greatest place in the world for a young person, you know.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm actually, I told you earlier, I'm moving back.
Yeah. It's your last day in LA, bro.
Yeah.
Really? Thank you for being here. This is crazy. I know how moving stressful.
It's a blowout. It's a great way to do it, you know.
But you're going back to your roots.
Yeah, but like just like the idea of getting out of Baltimore was so exciting, and I feel like a lot of young people, like, it's strange. I know people who are really into making music and stuff, and when that conversation comes up, like touring is like not even what they care about at all. Which is, I don't know if that's right or wrong. It's just, you know, it's just different time, you know.
I know you're inspired by Crown of Thornz for sure.
Positively.
How about like Stout and like Next Step Up and the Baltimore bands?
Oh, for sure. Like being a little kid and finding out about all these great heavy bands and they're all from different cities.
Yeah. When
you found out about Stout and then you dig into Stout and you listen to it and what the lyrics are about and the whole nature of it.
Yeah.
And it's like the darkest, evilest shit possible, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, what a better representation for the city that I'm from.
Yeah,
know?
Man, for sure.
And then, like they're definitely a band that made me want to do it. Like go play shows and like, I don't know, maybe freak people out a little bit. You know, I remember being a kid and just being like terrified.
Yeah,
seeing
it was gnarly back then. Yeah, for sure. And then did you grow up in the New York hardcore stuff? Obviously, Crown of Thornz and all that shit. Yeah,
positively. There's a lot of interesting crossover between the two. You know, like there is slight difference. It's funny. There's like certain things that I think of are like really Baltimore things musically, and there's certain things that I'm like, this is really New York, and we've always, merged the two.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I think people are less familiar with the Baltimore side of it, so
for sure,
people go straight to and Crown and Thornz obviously is huge. It's like Mike DeJohn's my favorite guitar player in the world.
Shout out to Mike DeJohn,
Yeah.
best.
Ezek's the greatest frontman ever. Like it's like everybody who's played in that band is just the greatest.
Yeah.
I'm a fan for sure. But like there's like I don't know, like moments in other songs where it's like we were doing this Baltimore thing, and then somebody will like bring it up to me in context of New York, and I'm like, no, we're ripping off Next Step Up one. That's like a real we like took Next Step Up's riff there.
Okay.
That's what that is.
They go straight to New York and said,
yeah. Or I don't know, any band like Gut Instinct. We definitely take Gut Instinct
right.
riffs. Yeah.
Fuck.
But
We're Gut Instinct too from there, man. So what was? Did you have a band before Trapped Under Ice?
Yeah, I've had bands my whole life, just like since I was a little kid. Before Trapped Under Ice, it was three of us played in a band called Nick Fury, like a young straight edge hardcore band.
Sick.
Nick X Fury.
Nick X Fury. Yeah, I know. I know the name.
Just wanted to make
know
sure.
him in the comic book world. Nick X Fury. That's hard. Okay.
I didn't know the comic book. Like the guy in the band was like, the homie's like, hey, we're gonna call it this, and I was like, yeah, sounds cool. There's an X in it. And I'm straight edge. We down. Let's go.
So that was like one of the first officials.
The first band I think that's not true. There's bands I started touring really young.
Okay.
And like, I guess I couldn't tell you the name of my first band. I guess the actual first band I played in, like I like riffed with some friends, and it's like this like middle school. A band means something different, it's like you're in 6th grade. I honestly might have played. Honestly, might have been the summer going into 6th grade, and I played with a band that's called Destination Unknown, which was like
Rancid.
Yeah, Rancid reference.
That's sick.
But again, like I wasn't like really in the band. It was like being in a band. Then I was like playing with some of those guys.
6th grade's young though, man.
That's super young.
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
And then in 7th grade, this is 7th grade. Rick to Life would pick me up from middle school.
What?
And I was playing.
I don't know about this.
Cool.
What is this?
It's like this story's going down a dark road.
No, wait a second. He'd pick you up.
Yeah, straight up. So 7th grade. How do you in 7th grade? I'm probably like. That's like 12, 11?
Yeah,
Young.
it's young.
Maybe 13, yeah.
Mad young.
And take you where?
So just take me somewhere. No. I was like, quote unquote, playing in Coming Correct in 25 to Life for a little bit. Yeah.
Holy fuck, bro.
But
you heard it first here, maybe not, but
it's kind of some people know about it from mouth to mouth, but then people will say like, "Oh, you were in 25 to Life," and it's like not technically. Like I would. There's like teams, you know what I mean?
There was a bunch of lineups for sure.
And I think that for him at the time, he was just like excited that there was a young kid that was excited about hardcore. And he would like show me cool stuff. And
wow.
Oh my God.
It was strange. A lot of the interactions really strange. It's funny as a little kid, I was like, oh, this is normal. But now that I'm the age that he was then,
right?
I'm like, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like, but it wasn't never weird. Like, not implying anything weird at all.
Of course.
But just like different socially,
Did we
you
say
know?
Rick to Life was your mentor?
There was a little bit. He put me on
like
some
a
stuff.
hardcore mentor.
Yeah, he put me on some stuff, you know? Like,
wow, man.
He was a positive influence in my life at that time.
Wow.
And obviously he got way different after that.
Obviously, yeah.
But I got to give him some credit for being kind to me when I was a kid, you know?
Man. Yeah.
Outside of that, he definitely is fucking dumb as fuck, and he was on the internet. He said some crazy shit about he was going to beat up my mom on the internet.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
Dude.
There we go.
Yeah, so definitely, we definitely aren't cool now, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah. But that's crazy. That's a good
That'll
story.
do
Wow,
it.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I would just like there's a tattoo shop. I think it was Vinny's, maybe Little Vinny's or in Baltimore. It's like has some legacy for sure.
Yeah, I might have heard about that.
He
spot.
threatened your moms?
Yeah, this is like a more recent thing. Not to her or to any like
right.
He said like one line like, yeah, I know where you live, like your mom ain't safe or something. I'm like, first off, you don't know where I live. I don't even live in Baltimore. Second off, you have no idea where my mom lives. Third, it's like, dog, I dare you to come to my mom's house looking like that and see if my brother don't shoot holes in you, dog. Like you're a dead man. That's crazy to talk like that.
That's crazy to talk like that. That's
Somebody's mother, dude.
Yeah. Come
internet
on,
troll, man.
Come on.
Yeah, just internet troll shit. So it's like the man's got some shit going on, and I just kind of, you know.
But you do have a part of your life where he did something positive, and that's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I gotta be real about that, and I appreciate that time where he's positive influence for a little bit, and got me into shit that I really love to this day.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot. Like, there's a lot of straight edge bands I love that aren't straight edge anymore, but they inspired me to be straight edge. So I appreciate what they did for me as a kid, even though I'm not like that anymore.
That happens. Yeah, people
you know what
change.
I mean? Like,
absolutely.
They helped me out tremendously as a child, but now it's like,
no doubt about that.
I'm still here.
I mean, if you weren't doing music, is there anything else that you would want to do, or were you thinking before you got into like hardcore and anything? Was there anything like, yo,
bodybuilding?
I want to,
I wish. I went to a vocational technical high school where you learn, it's like a trade high school.
Oh, wow.
And I learned plumbing and
sick trade.
It's weird. You do so every year you take on a different trade. So you're 4 years of high school. So it's like plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and
my dad
carpentry.
Worked at a school like this.
Oh,
yeah, as a teacher.
Yeah, it's so it's a weird concept. Like, as an adult now, I'm like, I wouldn't have done that if I understood what it was. Mm-hmm. It's like so my whole life was like learning about, I don't know, like when normal kids were learning about this, I was just learning about. I had to do a big report on the history of toilets and like how people shit, and like what they used to do with their shit back in the day. Yeah. Like, this was like my learning experience when I should have been like learning how to pay taxes or something. I don't fucking, just like trying to hurry up and get you out in the workforce. And I think part of that is like, maybe it's because in a city like Baltimore, they're not expecting you to go to college.
Right.
And shit,
That's sick of a trade, though. Plumbing's no joke.
That's no joke.
You make a lot of money as plumbers, too, man.
Oh, plumbers kill it. And there's definitely time. It's funny when I'm like having a bad day, I'm like, should be a plumber. That's what I should be doing.
But
be my own boss.
But you do have a trade to fall back on.
Yeah, I don't remember anything, dog. I'm like, it's funny because my girl will be like, "Hey, the toilet's running." I'm like, "We gotta call somebody." I don't know what to do with that shit anymore.
Can you shake the handle?
Yeah, you jiggle that thing.
You know what's funny? Last night, Max and my wife loves plumbers. My wife's Polish. She's from Chicago. She was telling Max he should become a plumber last night and how much money. Max, he knows how to plumb. He learned the trade as a youngster. Maybe not anymore. But
he knows how to plumb.
Well, come on, you know what I'm saying. He has a trade that he can bring back someday. I'm just saying that's great. That's fucking
Polish
awesome.
people love plumbing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money to be.
A lot of Polish plumbers where I grew up.
Okay.
Polska.
So, what were your goals in school like when you get out?
All right, so I guess I was like, I'm gonna do plumbing. I'm gonna be a plumber.
Right.
And then like when I got out, I started doing jobs and like did construction for a couple of years, like while I was like doing tours. Yeah. And I think a lot of those jobs are pretty cool because they'll like let you go do your thing and they know you coming back for the money.
100%.
But I kind of went crazy. I was like, that's like the age where I was like losing it. I was like
fully losing it.
Like, what does that mean?
Like 17 to like 20. I went full crazy. Like I was like,
okay, all right.
In what sense? Like violent or wilding or partying or?
No, not partying. I probably should have been partying. I'd been better off for it, honestly. Just like, I was like, I had these ideas of like becoming an adult and doing adult things, and people around me were like getting like, I don't know, like overdosing and dying and fucking going to jail. And we had a couple of friends that we grew up with that got killed by police and stuff.
Wow.
And I was just like, like kind of coming out on your own. And my family life before I like moved out on my own was like pretty dark. So I moved out a little younger. And, I don't know. I was like, my goals went from being like, hey, I want to do like positive things with my life and like go get a job. I was like, I can just rob people and like, just like do whatever, like
shit, yeah,
just like go. We can like me and my friends can jump whoever and nobody can stop us. And there's like a couple of years where I was like, just
we're doing wild shit,
like kind of like a little bit of a dark path
in the streets.
Yeah. I feel bad saying because I don't want to imply like I'm like the most street dude because there's definitely the streets are like that where it's always somebody out there that can outstreet you.
It's better than you.
Yeah. So I never was like there was that dude in the street that was the baddest. I was just the dude that would come take your wallet or something. Yeah. And if it was a thing, like my friends were just going to jump you later and got the weird homie who'll tase you till you pee yourself or something.
Wow, man. So you getting arrested and shit too? Or you
never got arrested.
Wow.
Thank God. Dude. I think about that shit and
damn,
my whole life would be different. Everybody I know who's really gone to jail.
Yeah,
it's different.
Change your perspective.
100%.
Absolutely.
But hardcore is the thing that changed my perspective. While I had it in my life then, it was like a thing that I like put on when I was like in the gym or like, like somewhere I could go to the show or something.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Kitzel that does Reaper Records.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Patrick Kitzel.
We were doing like Trapped Under Ice stuff, and he like booked us to come because he wanted to see us live to see if we were any good.
Wow.
And to this day, he's like, that's the worst I've ever seen any band. It was like the worst performance I've ever seen. Like
he did the first EP, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first EP.
Yeah.
And then he did the first LP, and then he put out the vinyl in the United States of Big Kiss Goodnight, the second LP. But so he like, you know, wasn't digging us live in Syracuse.
Okay.
But he felt he was down, he was invested, so he's like, I want to come down to Baltimore and hang out and like get to know you guys. So we like had like a little weekend we planned. Yeah. So he came down.
He's a producer.
He's a record label guy.
Oh yeah.
Record label.
Hardcore dude.
Okay.
Also just like a good friend, like a good positive influence when I needed it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
And so he comes down and he's like, I have all these plans. We can like take over the world. We're gonna do all this stuff with hardcore. And like it's kind of hard to tell that to me, you know, like he kept talking about Europe and shit, and I was like, dog, you crazy? I'm not. Nobody's gonna let me in Europe.
Yeah.
Like my friends die and go to jail. That's what they do, you know. Like, and then that night we
Sorry, Max. Please get off the phone. We're in a fucking podcast. Get out of here. Christ. Go ahead. Sorry. I'll cut that out. You talk about Europe, like can't imagine going to Europe.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, we can't go to Europe, kind of thing. So he comes down for the weekend. And definitely wasn't like putting on or like it was like just kind of like happenstance.
Yeah.
This dude was like talking wild, so we like took him in the alley and our friend just beat the dog shit out and we robbed him.
Oh shit! Well, he was there.
And yeah, Kitzel was there, and the whole time he's kind of like, "What the fuck are you guys doing, dude?"
You wanted to hang with us.
But I had incentive. I was like, "That fool's gonna get knocked out. And he's gonna have a wallet, and I'm gonna want it." And
wow.
Our friend was choking the dude all crazy, and when he let him go, the dude was like unconscious but on his feet. So he fell backwards and hit his head. Oh. And it was like cobblestone, like in Baltimore and Fells Point. It's like all cobblestone. And the dude, like, I'll never forget the sound. I've never heard this in my life. The dude's head hitting the cobblestone. Oh. And it was jarring to me. And like, I'm sure to Kitzel, who like doesn't know us well enough, he's like, this is just okay to them. But it wasn't. Yeah. But it wasn't going to stop me from like taking his chain and his wallet. And then Kitzel was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you got to chill. Like, that dude might be dead. His head was split open or crazy. So we like ended up going back. We were all freaked out. We were like, yeah, this dude, we like might just kill somebody. So we like, yo. Well, I'll say it was one homie that was really beating him, but we were all there. We were all part of it, you know. And like, we like went back to check, and he like the dude left. He like so he got up at some point, and there was like a little scene where you could tell that there was an ass whooping had occurred. But then we went back to my spot, and we were like everybody was like, we also just got in a big brawl like a week before that. We like jumped these kids and took all their gold and stuff. Holy so we like were at my house, and we lived in an abandoned house, like me and a couple friends. Yeah. And we just like, I guess people had jobs for the most part, but I wouldn't say anybody. Maybe people were working a little inconsistently, and we just go do hood shit, and then like come back and be like, what do we got? So we're like looking through shit that we got, and Kitzel's there, and like everybody's being like trading, like, y'all, let me get that chain because I'm gonna wear it, but you can have the wallet. And he's like, what is wrong with you? Like, and he kind of laid it out for me. He's like, dude, you could do so much. Like, people like your band. People, like, you have so much more to you than this. And,
he saw it in you.
And nobody told me that shit when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, just, my mom loved me and she, like, did her best. But, like, she had her own problems and, like, couldn't, I don't know. She, like, didn't see what I saw in music and stuff. And to have, like, somebody who I admired, because I was, like, a True Blue fan. So Kitzel's from True Blue, the German band. Yeah. And so, like, somebody I admired and, like, had already felt a connection with through music. Yep. To be like, I believe in you. I'll never forget that moment. I was like, dude, maybe he's right. And I remember explaining to my friends, being like, yo, this dude's crazy, but maybe we'll really go to Europe. And that was like the end all be all, going to Europe, Yeah. And now I've done Europe 23 times,
Fuck, man.
But
that's incredible. Just that moment, that time too, him being there.
Yeah. It was perfect. Like, it was like perfectly awful situation that probably shouldn't have happened, but him being there.
Yeah, that the timing and everything, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if you kind of straightened up, tried to straighten up then or not?
Yeah, I think that was a big motivating force in my life, just like focus on doing music and stuff. And then even then it's like you're doing hardcore and like you're on tour and like shit gets crazy sometimes and you do stupid stuff. And I've definitely done my share of stupid stuff. Another person I kind of cite that I think was like a good positive influence at the time I needed was Mike DeJean. Like, where he's the reason that I love guitar. He's like my favorite guitar player, period.
Incredible guitar player. And underrated. Nobody talks about it as much as they should. I really feel like that. I feel like his name gets not listed in the list of like the hardcore guitar players. Mm-hmm. I really do.
Dude, when you think about the influence of where hardcore is now, like after Crown of Thorns, after him playing Breakdown, Cold Front, like my generation, all of us, the Baltimore circle, and it expands out to like DC and like our circle that we like write music. That was in Trapped Under Ice, Turnstile, Angel Dust. Like that's like number one is Crown of Thorns. That's like. if you look at Turnstile, like Turnstile is a big rock and roll band now. Like it's it's hardcore in essence, but there wouldn't be a Turnstile without Crown of Thornz, and nobody would deny that for a second. They all bow down to Mike DeJean for sure.
It's incredible.
I never imagined.
Like hearing you say that, it's like fuck. Man. Yeah.
And now that band is going to change the face of what guitar music is. Like already, like I can see it. We just played Angel Dust shows, and there's people who knew Angel Dust from Turnstile.
100%. I saw mad Turnstile shirts.
Yeah, and like it's cool. What a cooler thing to be associated. I don't have any ego about that. I'm like hell yeah. Like I love that Turnstile.
But those
fans.
are your brothers too, and you guys all do things. It's incredible, dude.
Yeah,
it's like this whole group of kids. I know, man.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I'm the old guy in the circle now, which is funny. I was the baby when I started coming out. It was like Rick's Life picking up the little baby. And everybody's like, that's weird, you picking up that little child from 7th grade.
I'm still like,
And now it's like I go to the hardcore show and people are like, it's weird you hanging out with that old man at the show.
Right.
But that's the same thing of being grouped. Like all of us, I would say back then, H2O, Madball, Scarhead, all of us bands always played together. We always played shows. We always traveled around together. It was like our little crew of friends. Yeah. And that was the same kind of thing. Everybody checked out our bands from each other's bands. That was the whole thing, the bootstrap theory.
I got really into... like I was roading for you guys at H2O. At the very start, I was there, and I remember these shows were like Crown of Thornz, and I was like, the Juggernaut, that's my shit.
It's hard.
That's my song. And I was like, please let them play that song. Please let them play. I just want to see people go off. And I love the actual character, the Juggernaut, but I was like, this is a brilliant
It's the coolest song. That intro is the coolest.
Sick.
We had a truck session where I was playing the Juggernaut to members of Angel Dust.
Okay.
We're all aware of Crown of Thornz, but they're not like weirdos about Crown of Thornz like me.
Yeah.
So I like mansplained every note of the fucking song, dude. I was like, do y'all understand what the fuck is going on here? Like this dude just did this, and now a man's shouting about this. This shit's not supposed to happen in our world. This is from outer space.
Yeah. For sure, I feel like Crown of Thornz was kind of ahead of its time too back then.
They had their time,
like
man.
The leads and like just the way he played on those records.
It was
Mentally Vexed too.
Really cool. It was cool. It was fun.
Yeah, I feel like if Mentally Vexed dropped right now, it'd be the biggest record in the world.
Damn, that timing shit, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, timing.
Man.
Yeah, but thank God they did, because the world would be, at least to me, it'd be a much uglier place. You know?
Yeah. So after he came and told you all that he had this moment of kind of clarity in a sense, like I'm really going to focus on music, and he really is focused on that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And then, there was like an interview I did where somebody was like, what's your dream lineup if you were to do a band with anybody? And I was like, Lou Medino on drums, Mike DeJean on guitar. And
that's right.
I got a call like literally within like a week or two. That was Dean Balchulonis.
Thank you. Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I'm recording this band. It's going to be that exact lineup.
Wow.
And I thought he was like joking because of the interview thing. And I was like, oh, you read my interview. That's funny. It's funny. He's like, and Dean, he's like real like, not dry, but like straight shooter, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you want to do the band or not? Like, what do you, and I was like,
wow.
Are y'all trolling me or what? I don't know what's going on right now. So then he gave me Mike's number, and I had met Mike a couple times at shows and stuff, and just thought he was like, but I get scared to talk to him, you know?
Yeah.
It's like called him, and it was a real thing.
It's awesome. And
it was cool. Like I like went and would drive up from Baltimore and take the bus up and jam with those guys, and
it must have been surreal too, man, for you for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then like having this image of Mike and like who he really is and how like just I don't know, just a sweet, compassionate person.
A sweet, compassionate human, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And that definitely rubbed off on me a lot. And there's some little life lessons that I think I needed at that point.
Especially you see someone like a hard band like Crown of Thornz.
Yeah.
And then you meet Mike DeJean. He's like a sweet,
yeah,
fucking compassionate vegan. Had a fucking cat animal. What's a pet shop on Avenue A and shit.
Yeah.
Like he's just a sweet dude, man.
Yeah.
His brother was this crazy wrestler. He used to come in the pit during Crown of Thornz, and he had these really long arms and legs. And he used to windmill. You can see. I just got goosebumps. You could see his brother going bananas in the show. I remember one time he threw a kick at the Coney Island show, and he broke his leg. And they dragged him out. They had stopped the show, and Ezek was dissing him on stage, and he dragged him out. He broke it, but he became like a wrestler and shit.
Yeah.
He's this big ass motherfucker. He's doing great now, but like,
yeah, I've seen all the videos. You know,
okay.
I was a kid, I like
So
we used to get like VHS of New York shows, and and you know, like the New York hardcore documentary was like the Bible.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
and I think he's in that a lot
For sure.
Just like every band, you see just that monster towering over everybody, whooping everybody's ass, dude.
Do you remember the first time you met Ezek?
I I don't know.
Because we heard about, this band trapped on this guy. He's got mentally vexed tattoo. This, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude. I'm sure he was weirded out. He probably was like, "What the fuck is wrong with this kid?"
I think he was stoked, man. He appreciates that shit.
No, he was always really nice to me. And the same thing. It was like kind of surreal, you know. But I think like I just loved Crown of Thorns so much that it was like just like pouring out of me, dude. Like there was like a period of time where it was like that's the only thing I accepted as music. Like I didn't listen. I was like just listening to like hip hop. And then Crown of Thorns. There's like like it's like right in that period where I was saying I was like a crazy person, you know? Yeah. And like I think I like needed to hear those songs at that time in my life. And then, you know, like to like I don't know, become a better person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then when we started Trapped Under Ice, there was never a conversation of like, hey, we're gonna be influenced by Crown of Thorns. Yeah. Like I think we like cited exclusively other things.
Yeah.
And then like it came out and people were like, oh man, it sounds just like Crown of Thorns. And they're like, oh, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, that's the only thing I listen to, unless we're squatting weight in Sam's garage.
There's definitely some, like, Madball influences.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
For sure.
Yeah.
Fuck. You can't... That's hard not to fucking be inspired by Madball.
Yeah.
I mean...
Even as melodic as we are, I try, definitely inspired by Madball, of course.
Right.
Just everything. Madball, to me, is like... And because I grew up with these dudes, like these like the realest cats in the hardcore scene who live, you know.
I know.
They live their lyrics on and off stage, and that really, growing up with them, and we barely even had bands, we were chilling. I made a sticker of H2O. I didn't have it a fucking demo, but all of us is just the realest cats I ever met that like really live that shit.
Yeah.
And you can feel that, you know that obviously, but it's like it transcends and.
Dude, it's funny. I say with hardcore, it's weird because you grow up with these people that you look at as idols, you know? And and I think on some level with hardcore, you got to not do that. You got to be like, these are human beings, and like they're singing about
that's what makes it beautiful because we're all equal.
Yeah. But like for me, it's like, how are you gonna not look at like a Freddie Madball and be like, that dude's something else? Like we're not the same, you know? Like so, like all these bands that I like grew up admiring, like so many of them like really let me down. Like I'd like meet them and be like, damn, you just suck. You're a bad person.
It happened to me too. Bro.
You're not nice. Yeah. You're like, and like you don't gotta be nice. Right. Yeah, like you don't gotta be nice to me. Like, but like. You find out they're not who you thought they were, and like,
oh, bro,
definitely like. But again, being nice would be nice, and then you meet Madball, and it's like, oh, they're fully Madball. Like that shit they're singing about, they're fully that, and then they're nice too.
I know,
they're respectful, and like they like
100.
as long as you know what I mean. Like I've never felt like not wanted, like or 100%. Not like I wasn't welcome in the room on tour with Madball, but at the same time I felt like I'm never gonna do anything crazy in Madball because I've heard those songs and I see how they live. You know, like
100%.
It's pretty cool. So I always hold them in high regard as like being very authentic to
100%, man.
One of the most authentic hardcore bands.
And after me growing up there and meeting a lot of bands, not saying New York scene, just in general, the people I met throughout my life that I was inspired by, wish I never met them. Yeah, I put them in the top as the most inspirational friends I had. You know, I got a bad rep for hanging out with them, wrote songs about it. They're still my brothers for life, and I'm so proud of everybody, what they're doing, how far they've come with music. And the shit's just real and just authentic.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, it's very real.
Derek used to work at the clubs we used to roll up to, the hip hop clubs, the different bars. He'd be the security at the door, and he would tell me, he's like, yo, not tonight, man.
It's just like those guys I had to learn about from like other people that I knew that like grew up in New York, that were born in New York.
Yes.
And they're like, and they were just like getting me hip to the scene. They're like, yo, see that dude over there? And then I would just hear like the background. I'm like, oh man, great, you know. And then I start working like all these places in the East Village,
all the spots.
But John Bloodclot was like one of my first friends that I was hanging out with, like working out with every day. Just hanging with them, people are like, yo, what's up? You know, like I could see that they respected John fully.
Yeah,
you know, and so it was cool. And then I was working at these clubs. And then all those dudes would roll up, you know. And but like you said, you know, super respectful, you know, with everyone, you know, there. Like if you're in, just giggling, laughing, you know. But if you cross that, then it was completely the opposite side. And I was like, please, guys, please, for the love of God, just take it easy tonight. It's like, no, it's cool, bro. It's cool. Going. It's gonna be good.
No.
And then, I mean, it was rough, you know. I mean, but they grew up though.
100%.
And I got to watch, you know, as they matured and became, you know, even
and became
cooler.
musicians and touring bands.
And really, you know, like so it was really great to see that transition of like, okay, enough of this street shit, you know, this is about, you know, family and music And I mean, they just kill it on stage. Dude. You could just see it. The stage show was like
untouchable Madball live band.
That energy and that power, but
doesn't matter how many kids are there.
But it was terrifying. I think for a lot of people that just didn't really, give it a chance. But
I did security at a couple clubs in Baltimore for a couple of years, like between tours and stuff, and I've been the one to have that conversation when like
with your friends and stuff too, probably.
Well, like other security and stuff like that. Like when like real ones roll through and you got to be like, hey, look, just so y'all know, like there's some real ones, so just be chill. Like don't put me in no weird shit, dude.
Right.
I got a job here, but I ain't trying to fucking die, dog. Like, and like you said, like it's like 99% of the time, real ones are always the coolest people.
Yeah,
they're not. Nobody trying like real ones ain't trying to flex. That's always for fake people. Like,
right.
Unless you just got that random crazy ass dude. Some people are crazy and just can't.
Right.
Can't chill out. But
So when did Trapped Under Ice become something where it was like not a almost a full time thing? You're just touring. That's what you're doing only.
It's kind of quick. We just like assumed that's how it worked because like we became friendly with Terror really early, and they were like a touring machine.
Totally, man.
And they were like, yeah, this is just what you're supposed to do. So we just like lived. We do like
non-stop, dude.
I'm sure like one of these guys would call me and be like, that's not true. It was exactly this many days because like they retain information and have better memories than me. But in my brain, I'm like, yo, we toured 9 months a year for like 10 years straight.
Totally.
But probably dramatically less than that. But we were touring full time and like just thought that's how it's meant to be, and probably could have stayed home, could have skipped some of those tours and spent more time home and watched nieces and nephews grow and all that shit.
Yeah, you missed a lot. You sacrificed a lot to be in a band.
Yeah, it's tough.
I missed many funerals and weddings and all that kind of shit. Like,
I
was in Europe with sick around the early 90s, no phones, and my grandmother passed. I didn't know until I came back from tour. They tried to contact me. They couldn't contact me at venues and shit.
Oh, wow.
It's just so different back then, not having any of that kind of shit.
It's very, very true.
You know
there's nothing you can really do about it. You're out on the road, so...
you sacrificed a lot.
Yeah. And was Europe like a head trip for you since you, like your first time going there? Do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you have any expectations about it, or was it?
I remember being surprised by like how some of the venues were like kind of like squats and stuff like that. And that's not so much of a thing in the United States. And like in my head, I'm like, Europe is, like maybe like nicer in regard to like public space being like having more money or something. That's how I perceived it. Mm-hmm. And you're playing in squats where there's literally a hole in the floor you got to shit into. And you're like, damn, this is crazy. But I am in Europe and like I don't know anybody who's been to Europe. This is crazy.
That's dope, yeah.
Like I had a couple friends in bands. Like, I remember Cold World telling us like, damn, y'all got to go to Europe. It's different. Like fools mosh all weird and shit. And
it's different.
Y'all just got to go.
Sure.
But
they mosh different out here too, man.
Yeah.
It's the East Coast is it's like a culture shock for you kind of when you went there. You kind of like tripping on it? Or?
Yeah, I loved it though. And then I was like eager to get back. I thought it was really funny how people are like very blunt about things. Like, oh yeah, we really like this. We like this. My first experience with that was, it's funny. It's like a friend of mine now, but some Polish heads came out to the show in London because there wasn't a Poland show.
Yeah.
And they were bummed because I remember I had lost weight. I forget why. Like I broke my hand or something. I broke something and I like wasn't eating. I was depressed and I like lost like straight up like 30 pounds.
Damn.
Wow.
So like the Polish fools were like, yo, what's up? Why are you so small? You look like a little kid.
Oh.
And I was like, what? Like, and the guy was like, it's cool. Like your band's good and all, but like, I'm not going to come back and see y'all if you're going to look like a little kid when you do this.
Wow. Yeah. You got to respect the straightforwardness of being in Europe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't like this album. Why did you write this?
Yeah. It's
just like,
sorry, man.
Step off, man.
New album sucks. The last one's better. Why don't you play any new songs? They suck. Yeah, like all that. But so straightforward. I respect it.
But then they buy all your merch. They're like, I hate this record. Can I get 3 of them?
Right.
They're like, do you like it? Or are you just being mean? I don't know.
Did you love it over there? I mean, so you guys kill it over there too, man.
Yeah, and we went back with Trapped Under Ice a lot. And when the time came, we was doing Angel Dust there when we could. And then I was dating a girl in Germany for a long time. So I was like, just like borderline living in Germany.
Oh, okay,
sometimes.
okay. What years was that?
I guess that
Chappelle Lacey in the house. Sorry,
probably like 2016 to 2000. No, wait, that's not true. 2010 to 2015ish.
Oh wow,
something like that.
So were you living there or just going back and forth a lot?
That can't be true either. I don't fucking know, dude.
What city was it?
I guess mostly in Berlin.
Berlin's
Okay.
dope,
Lived in some
dude.
other cities for a little bit.
I
Or just-
fucking love Berlin.
when I say live, I would like stay for a couple months, and then we'd come back, stay in Baltimore, stay in New York, stay in LA. I was living everywhere for a while.
Yeah. I love Berlin. Just like a fucking New York.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
I love it. So you were just there. I love it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's one of the few cities where I was like, I could do this. I could live
Yeah.
here.
Like when Walter moved there from Quicksand, I was like, damn. That was such a
I
sick
remember
move.
he was out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking the legend, the hero.
That was part of it. I was like, people are gonna be talking about this shit. When I pull the trigger and I like commit to staying in Berlin, I'd be like, man, Justice is crazy.
Living out there, yeah. But Berlin seems you could get like any kind of city, right? Like it seems like you could. It's such a diverse culture.
It
Oh
is.
yeah, it has like everything. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's like
true.
New York shit.
Yeah.
Was the Big Kiss Goodnight? Was that the big record for you guys? It kind of put you.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of people liked it, and there was like always a thing about Trapped Under Ice. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like Trapped Under Ice got in a fight, or like Trapped Under Ice like sold a lot of this one shirt, or I don't know, like there's always like a thing, like to where it was it was like a topic that people were talking about a lot. But at that point, I don't think we made the record that people were just like, all right, like because got haters, like when you
Totally,
do something new.
bro.
So we did everything we did. There's somebody being like, this shit's all right, I guess. I don't know why y'all are tripping. But then we did Big Kiss Goodnight, and I feel like all the haters was like, all right, we bow down. This shit rocks. Y'all killed that shit.
Yeah, proved yourself in a sense.
Yeah. And we did that. We were staying here in this house downstairs with
Oh,
Chad
that's right,
most of the time.
That's right. Chad produced that shit.
Yeah.
Buzz
It was-
Bomb Studios. Paul Miner.
Yep. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, the same shit we did with Nothing Proved. Same. Chad
Yeah.
did that.
Nice.
Very
that's right, he
cool
did that.
process.
And then the Pleased to Meet You video. I saw the other. It's got a lot of views and people. That's a big one too off that record.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it in so long. I should check it out. See what shit people are talking in the comments, if that's still a thing.
But that was like the big song off there.
Yeah, that's cool. That song particularly, I remember that was like a riff that Sam had. It was different riffs that Sam had not together,
Okay.
and he was trying to make a song out of both of them. And I was like, yo, I really like these things, but they're not a song. And Chad was want to be like, nah, it's a song. Like, you can just put these two together.
So smart.
And then he had some more input on it. That's one of the songs he really had a lot of input on.
Yeah, Chad Gilbert, man, his like melodies, his ears, everything about him. He's incredible with music, man.
Yeah, he's really smart.
Like he's another underrated person who produced a bunch of our shit, but he can hear melodies. He's really smart, like you said. Stuff you wouldn't hear yourself, he hears it and then puts it.
He also, I think, really understands how people perceive music, and like,
Yeah.
he would say, like, for example, I had a lot of vocal melodies. I wonder, it was the first time I'd ever really done that. I had recorded melodies on other things, but I probably just sounded really bad, and everybody in the band was like, "Nah, we ain't doing that," But on this one, I was like committed, and I had these little ideas, and he was by no means like swinging the axe and just chopping ideas, but like he'd be like, "Okay, like this one's cool, this works. This one's too much of this," and people will say. People are going to say, Chad produced this, so this is Chad's input. And it's crazy because I almost
100%.
feel like his input was some of the heavier stuff. Like I was like starting to write Angel Dust stuff then at that point. Like actually, I think one of the songs on Big Kiss Goodnight was meant to be an Angel Dust song. That song called You and I.
Okay.
It's like more of a melodic song. Like it was like written to be like a Ramones type song. And then like Chad was like, nah, you can like sing it like Trapped Under Ice and this, that, and like we made it work. But like, it's funny because I was like, no, I'm just going to sing melodically all over this whole record and nobody's going to say anything about it.
I love that shit,
we,
bro.
we like met, like somewhere in the middle where there's a couple little melodies. And sure enough, he was right. Like and those were the things where I was like, I want to do this melody.
Yeah.
And you had those people being like, now they think they're like a pop rock band because Chad Gilbert with this melody and this melody.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, he was really right about that. Like just with the context of what Trapped Under Ice was at the time and what it meant to young angry people, I guess,
But because he's a fan also, he knows what he loves about your band as well.
Yeah.
Like when he was having Freddie sing on the fucking Hazen Street demos, and then Freddie's like, yo, I want to sing Freddie Madball. It's like he sang on the Hazen Street stuff, and I was like, damn, like he wanted to push himself and try that. You know what I mean? And Chad wrote a bunch of those songs, and once again, just crushed the songs. You know what I mean? Like I'm super proud of that project with him too.
One thing I always like about Chad is like when Trapped Under Ice started, you have people that are like, oh, the band is clearly, people love it to like, just like make it sound small by saying it's just this, And we got a lot of, it's just Outburst. And I'd never heard Outburst until we started comparing us to Outburst.
Okay.
Which is funny because it's like an influence for other things that I like, But I was like, oh, what's Outburst? I'll check that shit out. Chad like got my number from a friend and texted me and was like, hey, this Chad Gilbert. Like, At that time, that's crazy. Like I was like, damn, Chad Gilbert just texted me. This is crazy. And he's like, yeah, I really like your band. And he's the first person who like got the influences right off the bat. He was like, dude, it's crazy. I hear Crown of Thorns, but there's like this next step up element to it. And I was like, that's like literally,
it's fucking
that's
awesome.
it, you know? And then he pulled it like, and then went on and it was like just nailing it. So always I was like, this dude gets our band in a way that the average listener might not. They might like it, but they don't hear all the tools we're using to build it or whatever.
Was there a melodical singer that you admired, you know, that got you into change
Trying
up?
to sing? Yeah.
Try to sing.
Good question.
Honestly, at that time, I've always been obsessed with the Ramones.
Okay.
Right.
And it's,
Perfect.
you know, it's like simple, effective melodies.
Right.
It's not like, you know, I think most people aren't like, I don't know, like view the Ramones as the greatest singers of all time, but great songwriters and
Great songwriters.
I was like, I
Melodies.
just want to incorporate some of that. And then, you know, once later, it's, you know, influenced by a lot of other people, but gotta.
Yeah. Is it
Gotta
safe to
cite
say
that.
Ramones are like the first pop punk band in a sense because they did melody and sing along? I would say so, man.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's safe to say.
You know, and then Descendants came with like real more popular and love songs.
Oh, definitely. But
Yeah.
I mean, Ramones was one of the major influences for me as well. I mean, it's especially melodically, like all those melodies were fantastic.
But stripped
and
down.
simple and straight.
Just strip down the guitar.
Still like
everything.
one of the biggest bands in like Brazil as well too.
Really?
Like,
That's
people flip on them.
Oh, yeah, I saw
Flip.
videos of them getting their shits flipped over and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Like it's just straight to the point. People love it. It's almost like Beatles mania, you know, like really just incredible. But yeah, I was curious, like, was there something, because I know there's a lot of stuff I wanted to sing, you know, but it took some time to really, I don't know, match up the music, you know, like I was like, oh, there's got to be
something that feels organic with what you're doing.
Right. But I think
Something to sing more melodic and separatory, you mean?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it eventually started to get there. I mean, it was always there when I entered the band. That was the main reason why they wanted me. Like a lot of people were giving demos and they were all just the same. Screaming, trying to be like the old singer, just trying to just scream. And even, you know, like from Marauder, Jorge,
he tried out
for it.
too.
And they're like, oh, we met.
Whoa, I never knew that.
Yeah,
he
came
was out
down
there.
to Brazil and he tried out, and they were like, yo, he's a powerful singer, great voice, but it was just very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
They were saying. So
Damn. Yeah, so did they know Outface? They knew your hardcore band before that?
that's what I sent them, and I was like,
Because Igor is a hardcore kid.
yeah, but I mean, I'd sent them like a melodical band that I was in, and they were just like, okay, this is something different. Like, kind of the future something different can happen. You know? But it's really cool when I heard, you know, like all the stuff that you're doing, and I was just like, wow, the melodic stuff is really interesting.
That's cool.
You know,
Thank you, man.
A great change.
Yeah,
know,
we
like
just
change up.
We just kind of burnt on Trapped on Ice and that style of music, and you want to expand, and that's why you started Angel Dust. And is it named after Faith and More Records?
It's not the Faith No More record. It was just the concept of like,
Oh man, I wanted to ask. I love Faith No More, bro.
That's a great album.
yeah. No, it's funny. That kind of like got me more into Faith No More. When it's like same with the Outburst thing.
Okay,
like,
okay.
oh, it's clearly this, and then you go back and you're like, okay, that thing is kind of lit though. It was just, you know what it was again like Ramones was like something I really loved, and Bad Brains, and all these couple bands that you could attribute to sounds on the first Angel Dust recording.
Yeah.
There was always the theory, I can't say that it's true, but that, you know, that era of music, like in the 70s and 80s, how people just really loved PCP.
Gotcha.
And my theory was like, okay, well, if fools were on PCP and they were just trying to make pop music, it turned into that. So it's like write pop music and just pretend like we all, because we were all straight edge at the time. It was like, not like intentionally, just like having to be everybody straight edge. But we're like, we're just gonna play it like we're fucked up on drugs, and it could be sloppy and it could be fast. And
did you ever try PCP now or no?
Would I?
Did you ever try it?
I would try it.
Okay.
What?
I'm asking if you try it.
Out of all the drugs out there,
I would try.
You would try PCP, the most dangerous, unbridled drug that anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm like,
This guy's a warrior, man. He's been through a lot of shit. Man. Try
Okay,
PCP.
all right.
PCP kind of got this allure to it, like.
We're jumping off of a building,
Dude, a lot of hardcore cats that you love used to do Angel Dust back in the day.
yeah.
I say no names.
Yeah.
That was the thing
I mean,
back in the 80s,
the Sherman
bro.
Hemsley, you know, you get like a laced up joint.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was dipped in PCP.
Did you do that
Right?
before?
Not on purpose, no. But it unfortunately happened.
So
in
you've been
New
dusted.
York. Yeah, it was just like,
Damn.
Yeah, it was.
Was it enjoyable?
Dusted.
Enjoyable at all? Was there anything?
Absolutely not. It
really?
was terrifying. The whole experience was just like, oh my God. I had to leave my job. Like I was working security when it actually happened, like an idiot.
What spot?
Match on Mercer Street. It's like a nice, legit restaurant club.
You got a suit
on. None of my friends
on.
went to that. We weren't
not a suit. But I was just
none of my friends were allowed. We weren't allowed in that.
Yeah, hell no. Like scrubs were not allowed. But it was like working the door, and there was like some dude was like, "Yo, man, it's like check this out," and I was like, "All right, I'm bored here." And then it was just like laced up. And it was like, yo, bro, I got to break out. And they're like, what are you talking about? You're security. You can't just leave the door. And I was like, yo, I'm going home, man. I can't take. I was just like flipping.
Wow.
That sounds, I want that experience. That sounds great.
You might have that in your life. Yeah.
Just one time.
You're young, bro. You do it.
I don't know if it's like something I shouldn't say on recording, but
you're young.
You're young. It's like the same thing they say with COVID. They're like, you're young. You'll be all right. You know?
Yo. But this
guy's been through a lot of shit, man. I think he can handle it.
It's not the greatest.
I'm not promoting any kind of PCP on it, bro.
Please. I mean,
just one dust trip, dude. Just go out and just wild out and throw a table or something.
This shit's crazy.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like when the Bronx came out. I was like, have those guys been to the Bronx? I was just wondering.
Oh, yeah.
But they did. They ended up going there. I'm saying they've been there before.
Right.
But he's an angel dust. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Not them promoting this guy to fucking try PCP. But
just don't be.
You know what it is? The band Death Threat Live.
Okay.
They always shout out Dust.
Okay.
This is on recording somewhere, so I don't feel like I'm not dry snitching. Like there's definitely live recordings of Aaron saying this, but it'd be like it's the song where he says ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and then he'd like do a mosh call before the breakdown. He'd be like, I smoke dust.
Wow. Okay.
And then people would just destroy each other.
Okay.
And like I've just seen him do that a lot of times, and at some point my brain was like, I want to smoke dust. Like one time, you know. So that's kind of been my thing. Is like if Death Threat ever wants to smoke dust with me, if you guys are listening,
putting it out there,
I'll smoke dust with Death Threat.
First time only.
I'm not smoking dust with just like some regular dude. You know what I mean? You got to bring something to the table more than just some PCP.
Is it addicting? Do you think that stuff's addicting?
No, man. No. It's just like, I mean, have you ever seen those like movies like in the 70s? It's like, I can fly.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Like, jumping on, like shit like that happens. I just remember like first time seeing somebody so dusted on it. Like just riding home on like a train and just this dude eating these red hot Cheetos. And just like red eyes, just like, yo, B, yeah, son.
That was
just
some New York shit.
Tripping the fuck out. And I was like, this guy's head is
What year are we talking?
crying. This was like, before I even moved to New York, this was like early 80s.
Oh, that was in Ohio?
Yeah.
It sounds like 80s.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to be on
Shout
that
out to
ever.
Scam Dust, by the way. We're talking about Dust. Richie Scams.
But, man.
Scam Dust.
God bless. I mean, I hope that journey goes well, you know.
80s New York sounds like the coolest. I wish I could just teleport just for like
back then.
One day, smoke some dust, be on the train, eating hot Cheetos. You know?
CB's out front.
Oh, that'd be sick. Man.
You guys get to play CB's before it closed?
Never played it, but I've been there a couple times. I took a shit one time in the bathroom.
Oh, too, brother.
Wow.
Which there's no fucking door. It's like when you walk down the steps, it's just there's like a line of people watching you shit head on.
I did it too, man.
Yeah, that's.
And you're different after that. That's like that's worse than smoking dust. I think you're probably
I would agree.
Initiation is
take some years off your body for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
So what kind of stuff do you listen to that people would like? Oh, Justice listens to. They'd be shocked you listen to. Like what kind of obscure shit or?
I don't think anything too shocking
because you pretty much put on the table with your music anyway.
Yeah. I guess maybe one thing that's like outside my wheelhouse. I really like the artist named Sophie, the late artist who she passed pretty recently.
Okay.
But I've
you
been
heard
a fan
of her, Sophie?
hers.
No,
me either.
I don't really know how you classify it with like electronic shit. I'm like, it's just electronic. There's like computers and producing and keyboards and stuff. But she really like, I don't know, just changed the way I view music. Where I'm like,
I want to check it out.
It's like
your Sade.
Yeah. Sade does that. That's a good point. That's a good. Some artists just do that. Like
definitely.
And that's what always grabs me is like somebody who just like skews my view of what, you know, what hardcore is and like what punk is or what music is, period. So I like, not that I'm gonna make music that sounds anything like Sophie, but I like make something. I'm like, how can I make this? Like I wrote this song on an acoustic guitar or something.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of people have done that. How can I make it sound like not everybody else's song on the acoustic guitar? And I'll literally just go put Sophie on. I'm
gonna check her out for sure.
Yeah.
So you're listening to new music all the time? You checking out new shit?
I try to. I have like the things that I'm just like really, like I'm always gonna put on, you know, like classic punk stuff that I like. I'm like pretty obsessed with like the Wipers and Greg Sage's solo
You know
music.
what that is?
No.
Damn, we're learning so much shit right now.
know.
Wipers is arguably one of the first punk bands. Like they were starting at the same time as, I think their beginnings align with the Ramones.
Okay.
But very different take on the concept of punk. Like less pop element.
Okay.
More like I don't know, like experimental guitar sounds.
Okay.
And then the singer like kind of got real focused on acoustic guitars and like producing it in a way that isn't traditional.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been a big thing for me. That's what I try to like use when we record. How can I play this acoustic guitar in a way that's not like an acoustic guitar?
That's awesome.
So maybe it's something that fans of Angel Dust or me or Trapped in Ice know less about.
Yeah.
But all my friends and I'm like, they're probably like annoyed by me playing that shit all the time. You know?
I know you have a diverse palette of music. I know you're a hip hop head too. Did you ever want to rhyme or like do shit like that? Or did you?
I have, but like low
I can tell by
key.
your face you want to write something before. There's
like,
got to be recording out there.
This is my moment.
Is there a recording of you rhyming somewhere?
Yeah, but we go keep that a secret though. Like we're not.
Oh my god, yes.
I mean,
because I know you're a big hip hop head for sure.
yeah, and definitely like let that influence Trapped in Ice, which is cool. Because you see a lot of young people doing that now, like screaming and rap and shit. You know, it's like I didn't start that by any means. You know what I mean? But like, just cool to see how that's like translated from a hardcore thing to like a hip hop thing now.
100%.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then like there's an element of that. Like I remember like sitting down with Trapped in Ice demos before like the lyrics were done, and like listening through to like Mobb Deep and like Biggie and like their cadence and like when it comes to cadence, like Biggie's the craziest thing alive, or there was alive, but
agreed.
Like those things are just like, even if it's not like imitating their line, just being like inspired by how unique it's like, I want to do some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
And then there was like a couple months where like friends were rapping and I'd be like, and it sounded good. It's like a like legitimate sounding scenario, and I was like, let me get on the track, dude. And it just is not something that anybody should ever hear.
Did you have a name? Like you have a different name, rap name?
Heavy Chain.
Heavy Chain.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard, actually.
That's right.
I think Franz made that up for me.
Heavy Chain.
He was like, dude, you look like Heavy Chain. That's your name now.
Oh, you have a similarity of Biggie right now. Don't want to gas you up, but how Diddy was like Reaper Records, and how Diddy was trying to get Biggie stop dealing in the streets, but as I have this record deal for you, come on, let's go. You're better than this. You could do better than this.
Right.
That's a big story.
Oh yeah, I remember this story.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like your shit. He was like trying to get you out.
Yeah.
And then you. No, I'm not saying you're Biggie. I'm just saying like.
No, I get it. I'm just like Biggie. We're the same person. It's like
well, because you love Biggie's cadence. But I'm saying that whole thing of like P Diddy, like yo, he saw something in him, like yo, stop.
Right.
And Biggie kept going there, even when the deal was going down. He was still out there, like wilding in the streets, and then finally he took it.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Character.
Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Yeah.
You're the Biggie of Baltimore.
Yeah. There's definitely there's a Biggie in Baltimore somewhere, but
yeah.
I can't claim that. But I see the correlation, and I appreciate that. That's cool.
But dude, the Angel Dust shit, man. Just I have songs written down too, and like I told you the other night, there was a transplant vibe I got from the EPs, from like On Little House and The Bigger House, with turn off the guitar, and like all that. And I know you're a Transplants fan and a Tim Armstrong fan,
yeah,
of course.
Absolutely.
But I love those songs, even Love Is the Greatest and All the Way Dumb, even the song Little House. It's so melodic and it's so poppy, and it's just looking at you. I love the fact you would never expect that from you. If people didn't know, saw you on the street, or even saw Trapped Under Ice, even like, because even the girl that was with my friend's sister, when you took your shit off and started going, she's like, "What the fuck?" And then everybody's bum rushing the stage for the songs. It's like it's so cool. You can like go from one to the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think about when I was a kid, that's like exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to see people playing music that can chill. You know, like I appreciate that shit.
Yeah.
Like I like love those scenarios. And then there's also like the kid in me that's like, I'm also trying to jump off this fucking stage though. So let's get it cracking at some point. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Like just how like you just went for it, and those songs there's so much pop to those songs. You know what I mean?
I think every one of the songs you just mentioned are songs that I would say are the most influenced by Greg Sage. So that's something to think about if you
Greg's
check them out
age?
later.
No.
Me either. I'm learning so much shit.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the wipers guy I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
See, normally you're like, yo, yeah, Greg Sage,
he
back in the
scored
day.
us.
Yeah.
Yo, he's the youngest
Yeah, I'm learning a
hardcore
lot.
singer of any band we've ever had on the podcast.
Well, I mean, definitely
man.
like.
Oh,
listen-
nice.
First time.
Let's
I'll
go,
give
let's
props for that.
Excellent.
First,
No
because
doubt.
we've had all the old cats.
Yeah.
He's the first one from the different generation on the podcast.
Absolutely. I mean,
Oh, that's great.
I
So he's
hear it in the
schooling
mu-
us.
It's definitely refreshing because I'm just like, man, like, what's up?
Gotta
with
get
these
Brendan.
bands, man?
Yeah, I've been texting with him, man. It's like
Oh, really?
It's a goal.
That'd be
Because we
awesome.
talk about them a lot in here. Milo was talking about them on here.
Really?
Fucking Fletcher, Fat Mike, everybody. It's like,
That's cool.
yeah, but like you guys are part of the whole fucking tribe, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing. I'm gonna check my notes because I know this guy's about to leave the fucking state tomorrow. Yeah, but I mean, from the extra raw demo to the AD to rock the fuck forever, and Pretty Buff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a sick name of a record.
Yeah.
Pretty Buff. These dudes were jacked. Even when Trap Toys first came out,
Oh, yeah?
Just swole, look like a bunch of. This is no diss, but like a bunch of Mark Wahlbergs, like jacked.
Dude, that is the furthest thing from a diss. That's exactly what I wanted to be when I was a kid, dude. Wanted to be Mark Wahlberg so
The
bad.
other night, this dude's on stage with like a Gold's Gym baggy ass tank top,
Right.
fucking playing the guitar, singing these pop. It's fucking dope.
Damn.
But yeah, that was the vibe when you guys first came out. Like, who these
You're
fucking?
just blowing my head up, dude. You're saying all the right things. He's like, dude, look, he's just like Biggie, but he looks like Mark Wahlberg. And
He's not gonna walk out of the room. His head's gonna be fucking swole. No, I've always fucked with your music, and you've always been a good kid every time I saw you, and I know
Thank you, man.
I know you love and respect the history of hardcore. Like we ran into you at the Turnstile. He's rocking a rabies fucking mesh wife beater. Remember that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody can pull that shit off. Not many people know where that
not
shit's
many
from,
people.
too.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I love with the generation is that they actually give a fuck about the roots and the history of hardcore.
Respect the architects.
Because there was a time you could walk in a Hot Topic and come out of punk and not know any
Right.
history about it.
Right.
And that's what happens about that song we wrote. And so there's this generation, they actually give a fuck. They're inspired about it. They're rocking the original tees. And they're giving, like, you can hear all those elements in all these bands.
You can, and it's
I love that.
But it's cool. It's that it's taking on a whole different life of itself, which is really awesome to see.
Dude.
I'm like, all right, we got to get some of these bands opening. But by the time they blow up so fast,
I know, man.
yeah, true.
you know, it's just like, yo, we don't even need, we can go out on our own.
With the internet now, it like changes
Right.
the whole template for like what you're supposed to do as a band.
Yeah, I mean, there was like bands like, for example, like Hatebreed, and everyone
Yes.
was like, yo, do not take them out. Bad rep. Like, this
Oh,
is
really?
back when they were trying to get off
that's
of
true.
Victory, and they were just like, horrible, like, nah. We took them out in the U.S. Like, no, we want to tour with them, and I really liked the album that Steve Evans produced for them. I was like, it sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting Steve Evans because
Whoa.
he worked
Oh,
with
wow.
Hatebreed. Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
So it was like, really, we wanted to, we're energized by that. And then we took them out, and they were great. They were totally respectful. And then we're like, let's take them to Europe, too. They'd never gone. Jamie wouldn't get on a plane.
Oh, that's right. They had to drug him back then, like the dude from A-Team.
He was
No
just like
way.
terrified.
Yeah, that's a true story.
And so then they were like, yo, he's coming to Europe. And then I remember Tony Brummel or the guys from Victory are like, they're never going. They're not going. I was like, yo, they said they're going to go. They're going to go. Like, it's already booked. They better go. And then they went, and it was just like, it was a lot of fun. It was.
You took him on the first tour to Europe?
Yeah.
Damn, bro. I
That's
didn't know
incredible.
that.
So, and then they just blew up, and it's like, poof, after that tour and everything, it was incredible to see, and I was so happy to see that happen.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I mean, it's just hard, like one of the tours we did was like Earth Crisis and VOD.
Damn.
It was like one of the first American runs, and it was so much fun.
When was that?
Sick tour.
In 99 or something.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
man.
VOD. That's
VOD.
another underrated band, VOD Long Island, bro.
They were killing it,
Bro.
too. Like
That was
the live-
musically a hugely influential thing.
Okay.
I used to have dreadlocks because I was like, I wanted to be Tim, dude.
Man, he was a great. I mean, they were a great band. Like,
Yeah.
They were really like, when I listen back, I'm like, fuck, they had cool melodies, super heavy,
I think they were ahead of their time, too, with their sound.
way ahead of their
100%.
time, man.
They're a band that practiced for sure.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
They were super
no
tight,
doubt.
dude.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, Tim
But
was.
now, man, you guys are, damn, the bands get so good so fast. It's like, oh, we're already doing our own tours.
Fast, right?
It's hard to like catch bands like, yo, let's get them to open. Like, because the diversity in shows is so cool to have, you know.
And
You don't want to go out with the same
Nah, bro.
style of band. Like, I don't want to go out with necessarily another thrash band that sounds like us. It's cooler to have a band that has their own
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's starting to happen more in America. It used to just be a Europe festival thing.
Right.
But I'm seeing that more, like how Turnstiles with the Suicide Boys, stuff like that. It makes me happy,
cool.
like all the different genres meshing.
Um,
It's super important.
Is there a tour that you would love to go out with? Like, if you could put a tour together, like, who would be in the package? Like, 4 bands, including yourself.
I think the big one for me is always going to be Turnstile because my best friends,
Yeah,
and like
right.
it works musically. And then I don't know, like we do, you know, we have a record label we do together, me, Brendan, and Dan, called Popwig. And the bands that we've worked with are like just genuinely some of my favorite bands. You know, most of my favorite bands. So always those bands. A couple hardcore bands. I think it's hard to be the hardcore band to go on tour with Angel Dust because it's like there's a hardcore connotation because it's like hardcore people and there's hardcore things that influence Angel Dust, but it's not by any means a hardcore band.
Right.
Yeah.
But like we like Wise played with us at the Roxy, and they're one of my favorite hardcore bands right now in LA, but in the world.
Yeah, wow.
And they like brought it, and it's like it's not a hardcore crowd, but people, you know, a couple fans. It makes sense. It translates. And but I think everybody was blown away by them because they're fully committed to it, you know?
Awesome.
But yeah, I feel bad a lot of times. I'm like, yo, I want this hardcore. I just want to see your band. I love your band. And like, I don't know if it's going to make sense, but and then they do it, and it's not the hardcore environment, but it works.
But that can actually turn out to be something really, you know, memorable for people as 100%. Fans, you know.
It stands out.
It totally stands out.
Yeah.
I mean, there were shows that we did. It was like one of the first tours in Europe. It was like Slayer, us, and Systems of a Down. And people were
that's
just
crazy.
Like, it was the first album of Systems of a Down, and people were just like, boo, get off the stage. You got makeup on. Like, Slayer fans were just brutal.
Yeah.
But they got up and they were just like giving everyone the finger,
That's
playing
dope.
their songs, you know, like going through every night. And I was like, damn, that's cool. These guys are legit. They're paying their dues. Like,
That's cool.
They had the same effect on me. Like when I heard System of a Down, I was like, not getting it, you know?
Right, yeah,
They're
yeah.
so relentless. At some point, you're like, oh, this is real. This is what they're doing, dude.
right.
You gotta appreciate
And
it.
they're still killing it. They're still killing it now.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're liking the pool guy would like Angel Dust.
I think so.
The pool guy.
Yeah, the pool guy.
Because he was talking about on the episode, he talked about Turnstile too. But I'm
That's
going to
true.
send him some Angel Dust. I'll tell you it is off the episode. But I'm going to send him some Angel Dust.
Pool guy
stuff.
would be down.
That'd be a sick tour for them.
Oh, yeah. That could be.
We can't say his name on here because it's so secret. But I'm going to tell Justice after this. Look at my notes over here. Another thing I knew you guys were real ones when you had Timberlands on your Gnostic Front skinhead mock tee. That shit was amazing when I first. We used to always rock Black Chukka, Tim's. We always rocked Tim's in Manhattan growing up. All that shit, man. He worked at Fat Farm. I worked at Nana Shoes. Across the street from each other in Soho.
Wait, that's real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, right across the street from each other, man.
Yeah.
But all of us rock fucking Timbos. It was when you guys made that show. I was like, fuck, man.
That's
Yeah. I mean, all the bands we loved, you see that in the promo photos and like camo pants.
right.
Hell yeah.
And like, I'll by no means be like, yo, we started that, but it's just nobody in our age bracket was doing that, you know?
100%.
Right.
And we just like committed. We're gonna wear full length camo pants, Timberlands, nothing else, a chain, like or like dog tags or something, you know, like no shirt ever.
That's like New York hip hop mixed with hardcore, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And they call the cutoff camos the stigmas. Supposedly that's where they came from.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
literally the first person I've ever seen wearing cutoff camo shorts.
Yeah, the stigmas they call them.
Wow.
He'll get credit for that. And then Craig Sickaball says he was the first one to wear high top Nike Air Force Ones in hardcore. He tried,
might be.
He tried, you know.
I
But there
can't
was
think of
also-
anybody before that.
Well, there was Joe Bruno, the roadie, the b-boy.
Yeah.
I always shout him out on here, and he always DMs me and say, yo, you missed somebody else. Joe Bruno, I love you, but for me, you're the dude who had the first neck tattoo and the high tops, the b-boy style. I know he's going to hit me up when he hears this, but he was with Murphy's Law back then, Joe Bruno.
That's right.
But like the OG type shit.
Man. That Murphy's Law, God.
Yeah, do you have any regrets?
I don't know. I guess there's some things. I know there's things I could have done and could be doing that would be more beneficial career-wise.
Yeah.
But I'm like, my life's cool, and I get by, and
Yeah.
I'm not struggling. I'm not like resentful of my past or anything.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I can't say I do.
Another question I always ask is, are you optimist or pessimist? But it seems like you're a pretty positive cat.
Optimist, like definitely a lot of my life I've been a pessimist, but
Okay.
way more
A
optimistic.
realist.
Yeah. Also, I'll acknowledge that since I've introduced medical cannabis into my life,
Okay.
a lot more optimistic, to be
Okay,
honest.
okay.
All right.
It's
Respect.
crazy. Like I definitely was making a conscious effort to be like a better person,
Yeah.
and like part of that is you have to like look at like, I don't know, like look at the good shit and not just hunker down and focus on every bad thing that's ever happened to you, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I love that.
And maybe part of that is like the angel dust process and exploring new sounds and singing about things that I would never
be comfortable doing.
Yeah. And then I think that process has been little by little and you know, like having great relationships with a couple of friends that have showed me like Dan and Brendan, for example. I think the reason we've remained close for so long is because I like knew when I met them, they were like babies, you know? Dan and Brendan are, you know, do angel dust and turnstile and a pop wig, but they're like babies and they're always positive people. And like, I always like love that about them. Yeah. So there came a point where I'm like, you know, being like the big brother type or whatever and be like, listen to this thing and let's go get into trouble. Where I was like, they're happier than I am. And I'd be like, this is where it started. I'd be like, Dan, I'm really mad about this thing this person did to me. I want to go beat them with a thing. You know, like I'm just going to beat them. Like, is that crazy? Yeah. Dan would be like, well, I don't think it's crazy that you feel that way. He like have like a really good way of talking to me about it. And like straight up therapy, which Dan, thank you for the years of actual therapy. I owe you probably a lot of money in the back end, but
just talking and listening to each other. That shit helps me. Yeah.
But just like giving me good advice. Yeah. And kind of like being the good angel on my shoulder. Both of them have done that for me so much. And you know, it's like helped me grow as a person, but then also finding cannabis. Okay. Like I think has really helped me. And you know, it's not for everybody.
Level you.
Yeah.
Because you were never really a party person anyway.
Yeah, never. I was like, you know, did the straightest thing for a long time. And, you know, I obviously had reservations about wanting to do that. And I like did the CBD thing. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I was like talking about with a friend. And like, then, you know, it's like, well, why don't you like, I don't know, like try this, try that. I'm like, no. But what I realized eventually was the thing that what was making me feel better about the CBD is like actually the cannabis element of it, you know, because you start like
the thing they take out. Yeah.
It's like CBD with like 1 to 4 or whatever ratio. I don't know the ratios. Right. But it has like a little bit of THC. And that's the stuff where I'd be like, for the next 3 days, I'd be calm. Right. Like something would upset me. I'd use it. And like, you know, at the time it was like oil when I first started. You use it and it's like, for the next couple of days, I feel different. Like I like have less rage.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Whatever helps you, man.
Yeah. And again, I know people who have the opposite effect. Like honestly.
Me too.
What, on weed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can become violent on weed?
Not violent, but just paranoid
aggressive.
and
exactly.
Completely like wigged out and
stressed out. Like,
totally stressed out.
My girlfriend can't do weed. She like freaks out. She thinks like everything bad is happening all at once.
Super paranoid.
Yeah.
Damn.
That can be
So that helps you. Do you have any daily rituals?
So I had like a back injury years ago.
Yeah.
And I kind of like was having trouble walking for a little while, like to where it got real bad. Right before quarantine, it got real bad. And my friend Danny Soul, he has a gym called Soul. He kind of like it's interesting because I asked him if he knew anybody in LA that could help with my disc issues. And I was like, I've tried everything. I've like paid every kind of therapist to do whatever. And he was like, I know somebody in this city, but it was all too far. And I was like, yeah, I can't. And he's like, you know what? Get on FaceTime right now. And he would just FaceTime me every day. Oh, wow. And be like, do this movement. And he'd watch on FaceTime. And it's crazy through the phone. He like could tell what was going on. Mm-hmm. He's like, these are the problems. And it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take work to fix it. It's going to feel like shit. And we spent a lot of time. Like he gave me like a little routine and we'd update it every week. And it got to like, it went from being, like I said, so the year before quarantine, a lot of people don't know this because I was like real low key. I spent more days in bed, not walking, not able to walk than days able to walk. Before I was so bad. Yeah. Damn. I was so fucked, man. And I would go do things because I didn't want to miss out or whatever. And I would just pay for it. Like somebody would be like, hey, do you want to go on this weekend trip with us or whatever? Yeah. And just being in the van or something, I'd have to go home and sleep. Or like just not even sleep. I'd be depressed in bed for 2 weeks straight, you know? So it went from that to I started doing his training and it sucked. But like there's like moments when it hurt and it's like hard work, but it's been like a year and a half, almost 2 years since I've had one day where I can't walk. I haven't had that.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So the you know, some of the basics that he showed me every morning when I wake up, I do that stuff. And then, you know, like miss it every now and then on tour if you're running late for a show or something. But yeah, I guess that's kind of a ritual.
Yeah. Are you a coffee guy?
I'm like allergic to everything.
Really?
So I used to do coffee a lot, but I was like just like shitting all over the place. And
me too. I stopped it like last March. It makes me go jittery and shittery.
Yeah, shittery.
Shittery. Damn. So you're allergic to a lot of things?
Yeah, gluten and dairy, and then
vegan by default.
Yeah, well, I actually eat a lot of meat, which is maybe not ideal, but
damn, I wish I was allergic to dairy. I mean, anyway, but gluten, man, fuck. I try to be gluten free anyway. So those two.
It's hard.
Wow.
It's in so much shit that I never thought gluten was in. Like I'd be like, I'm doing so good, and then I'm violently ill.
Is that celiac? It's called, or?
So there's like different degrees. Like celiac is like, your body has zero tolerance for that, and there's like different repercussions that come with celiac.
Okay.
I've never. So you got to go get tested for celiac. I've like done allergy tests and stuff, and they're like, it's definitely a gluten thing. It's pretty bad. And I was like, is it celiac? And the doctor was basically like, it doesn't matter at this point, man. Just don't eat that shit. Like it's gonna kill you at some point.
Your whole life like that, or just recently?
Just started like 10 years ago.
Wow,
interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
The first couple of years I didn't know, and then I figured it out. And for a couple of years I was like, man, I can eat this bagel. It's all right. And then it's like, it's crazy. Like everything hurts. Like my joints hurt. Some people don't believe that this is real.
Right.
Yeah, it is real.
The reason I was just talking about this, the reason why I think people choose to believe it's not real is because society puts so much faith in doctors. And doctors' jobs are, and I have a lot of friends that are in the medical field, so I don't think there's any debate to this. Like if you go to school to become a medical doctor, the first thing they're teaching you is what pills fix what things. And there's no pill for gluten. So a doctor's not going to acknowledge your gluten intolerance for the most part, unless you go to like a specialist.
Good point.
So if you go to the doctor, like somebody like my mom, she'll go to the doctor and say, oh, my arm's broken. And the doctor will say, yes, your arm's broken. Here's pain pills. Here's this, here's that. My mom goes, and this is the thing with my mom. Like she'll be like bloated and sick, and I can see it in her skin. And I'm like, you have a gluten intolerance. It's like really obvious. I have it. It's probably genetic, And she'll go to the doctor and she says, my son says I have a gluten intolerance. And the doctor's like, no, I don't got no pill for that shit. So you don't.
Yeah.
You got something else, and here's the pill for it.
Right.
There's like just really no widespread fix. Like there's no easy fix for it. There's no magic pill.
There's no easy fix, and that's a lot of times people want to hear that. If you ask a lot of doctors when you're like, do your patients really listen to your advice? And they're like, no. A lot of times they don't, especially when it's like changing your diet.
That's a big thing.
Like certain things, it's just
convenience
like,
for people.
like if you change this, you can probably survive and have a better life and outcome without medication. If you were able to change this, and they're like, they can't do it. A lot of times people are just,
they love their food, man.
They're just like, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to, just more vegetables, more plant, like cut out, a little less of this. You can actually have a
100% diet,
better life, but it's hard for people to change up,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's happening more now. I think people are more conscious about the plant-based or just everything else, like not taking so many pills and trying to change with food.
I hope so. I feel that people are starting to understand that a little bit more.
Put two and two together. Yeah. So your diet's crazy then. It's like pretty strict.
Yeah. I mean, I like splurge a little. I have a problem with candy. Because it's like accessible. It's everywhere. Like you're on the road.
Yeah.
And we go somewhere to eat and I can't eat any of the food. And I'm like, I guess I'll eat Nerd's Rope or some shit, like. No, I think Nerd's Rope. Actually, I don't know if I can eat that actually, but
there's gluten in there.
It might be gluten in Nerd's Rope, but I'll find there's always something. Like it'll be like, I don't fucking know. There's always some candy I'll find that I justify, and then I feel like shit. But being home is the best. It's like waking up and cooking vegetables first thing in the morning. That's that's my shit.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you record the EPs during the pandemic?
Actually, yes. I was gonna say no, but
That's something great that came out of the pandemic. That's sick.
Oh, dude, the pandemic was like a huge helpful. I needed the like.
Are we still in it though? Is it endemic? Or are we still in it?
We're pandemic technically, but it's different now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where people don't give a fuck about this pandemic. Yes. I think. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like,
no, I know. So you were creative. You were so creative during it.
Like a lot of creative time, and again, fixing my back and like being able to hone in on my diet, and that was like in the worst shape of my life. I think prior to Yeah, I was definitely in the worst shape of my life before that.
Well, it's kind of good it happened during when you couldn't do anything anyway, so just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
It's, it's obviously a terrible thing, and it's had a lot of weight on a lot of people.
For sure.
It's sad, but I hope that there's people who could take advantage of the situation and get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you made some great music in there, man. It's awesome.
Thank
and
you.
you had COVID, too. I seen you posting about it. It's not like a secret thing. You went through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It was scary.
It was really scary. I was like, do I post about this. You know what I mean? I didn't want like a lot of sympathy. I always feel bad with sympathy. Or like trying like looking like I want sympathy. So it's funny. Our management like would post it like in a way that was like not too much details.
Right.
And then people were like debating whether I had COVID. And then people were like mad at me. And then I got accused of like pretending like I have COVID because of like a government agenda and who's paying me to pretend. I'm like, it got really strange.
Wow, but you put it out there. I thought it was good. You put it out there in your process. You made it through, and like, it was gnarly for you though, wasn't it? And you're a young, healthy person.
Yeah,
so all that shit doesn't really matter.
Generally pretty healthy, but again, that shit's pretty heavy, and it could have gotten dark for me. Like I had to spend some time, have a little hospital visit or two.
Yeah, and
it could have gotten worse. So I just hope that I just don't want to see anybody suffering. It's just it's sad to see. And my suffering was not nearly as bad as some people, so I just feel a lot of,
100%. My whole family had it too, and we made it through. Thankfully, Derek had it too, OG version. Yeah. Before the Delta, and we made it through, and yeah, man.
OG version.
Yeah, the OG.
It's like the first pressing.
The first pressing of the.
It's like a status thing.
The COVID.
And then you had the first demo.
I was like, oh, this
COVID demo.
But you were like working out and sweating in Brazil.
I was just like contaminating the entire gym with like everybody else.
But you didn't know though.
Oh no, nobody knew. I mean, they were getting ready for like carnival. Like once I knew, I was like, stay away from me. I was just like knew nothing. Like I was like, oh my god. I was like, me and my girl were like, we're gonna just stay here in this apartment until carnival is over.
Until you missed the party.
Oh yeah, people were like, look at them spreading it. It's
Nobody knew back then.
I mean, I knew then. Like I was like, oh yeah, it's happening. Because right then, after I had it, I was like, it's on. And once people were like out, like warm, just like drinking all close next to each other, I was like, damn, that shit is just spreading like wildfire. And I got back to the U.S. and it was like, can I see your ID, please? Like dudes in hazmat suits, like fully.
Oh yeah,
it was. And then the lockdown happened right after.
You just made it back into the States.
Yeah,
you've been stuck in Brazil.
Yeah, I would have been stuck there with like everyone partying. Like,
Brazil got hit hard though, man.
They got hit hard.
Yeah.
What you just described in Brazil, minus the COVID, I want to do that so bad. Just like sweating on people.
You'll be able to do all night. That. Don't worry.
I can't wait. You've been in South America before?
Never.
Oh,
it's like the one thing that I'm like, how have we not done that yet?
Dude, South America is so fucking incredible. If I ever go back there, I'm gonna put out the I would love to take Angel Dust to South America with H2O.
That'd be cool.
We love it there. We've been there so many times. Shows are incredible there. I fucking miss you, South America.
You'll
Such
love it.
Passionate fucking people.
Yes.
That'd be sick.
That's
man.
incredible.
It would be sick.
I'd be honored to do that. If I could
you
do
would
that.
love it. It's just like.
And if I can't, Sepultura just confirmed that they'll take you on. They'll take you to South America.
That's right. We will take you on.
Sepultura fans would be so mad at Angel Dust.
You have any top 5 MCs, any artists, any inspirations, like people off the jump you can think about that inspire you tremendously?
But specifically in...
Could be anything. Since you have such a crazy palette of music.
One thing I've been thinking a lot about is like influence outside of just like what you're taking in and putting out music or like artistically.
Yes.
Just like people's drive,
Yeah, yeah.
And one person I'm thinking a lot about is Luis Hernandez, our friend.
Amazing. Shout out to Luis, man.
He's been doing so much cool stuff.
Such cool shit.
Just like with
that's a great one.
His life has been kind of wild and up and down, but he like makes the best of it, and he's like very motivated. And just seeing how he's channeled that in the last couple months,
agreed.
Especially with all the madness in the world, I want to do more. I want to like just do cool shit. And he like, I don't know, like invests so much in community and in that concept,
Yes.
That's like a big thing of me going to Maryland, me being in Baltimore. Like I want to like do stuff, be an asset to people around me. Yeah. It's like hard to do that in LA, especially like, I don't know. I'm not from here. Like there's somebody better at doing that, reaching community here than me. I just love to be a fly on the wall while it's happening.
100%. Sponge it up, and then you go home and get back to your community, do something. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that. So that's your future. That's your future right now. Going back to Baltimore, you got some tours lined up?
We got some stuff confirmed that's kind of far out, though.
Okay.
Not going to be announced for a while.
Yeah.
But, yeah, got a lot of plans in mind. And then I'm, like, trying to build a studio in Baltimore.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Just work. I'm going to want to make the most music possible.
Yeah.
I want, in the next couple years. Like, I think it's, like, one thing I've battled with is, like, not being able to make music consistently enough.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm home, that's all I do. Like, full-time job, style, like 8 to 10 hours a day. I'm just riffing in my room.
Awesome.
So to have like a space where I can like make shit and put it out, everybody's gonna be sick of me. The whole world's gonna be like, this dude needs to fucking stop, man.
But what you pay here in Baltimore, you'd be fucking chilling, bro.
Oh, for
studio,
it's gonna be
everything.
insane.
I know. It's really cool. I know you're gonna miss Cali because Cali's been good to you. It's a special place.
LA's 100% the greatest place in the world, and
I agree.
It's like heartbreaking to leave, but knowing what's on the other side and like what opportunities are there, and I love Baltimore. It's it's funny because I love it so much, and I know a lot of people who love it a lot. But then there's people who don't see the charm in Baltimore.
Is it called Charm City?
Charm City, yeah.
There you go. Okay.
It's so appropriate.
It is.
It's like I can take somebody to Baltimore, and I did this with my girl, and that's why we're moving there.
Okay.
For like a 2-day period, I made it like the greatest city in the world, and she's like, "Oh my God, this place it's an oasis. It's so like it's perfect. How did I never know?"
Where's she from?
Rhode Island.
Oh, sick. Okay, yeah.
But
I live
then,
there.
like the next day, she's like, "I'm trying to do." I'm like, "We did it all. It's done." Like we did all the things that there is to do. It's a small city, but there's great people there and stuff, and I'm really excited about what it's gonna be. But I 100% am going to live in LA at some point.
You'll be back. Yeah.
The weather is the biggest thing.
I know,
right.
dude.
It's crazy.
Are you ready? Baby, get to wear your Timbs, big ass fucking goose, like it's the early '90s.
Oh
in the fucking Baltimore winters, bro.
Oh, jackets! I've been so excited about jackets and boots, man.
Jackets and boots.
I know, man.
I like brought them all out with me when I moved here, and I have like a crazy jacket collection that has never seen the light of day.
That's what I'm saying. And you got friends there. All the friends' bands are there. Your community.
Yeah.
Your family's there, right?
Yeah.
Most of your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm stoked for you, man. I appreciate you coming. I know you're moving tomorrow. I love watching your journey, man. Everything, the way you're growing, everything, sharing your story with us and your music, and I just feel like hardcore and punk and everything you're into in this new generation, it's in good hands. You know what I mean? You guys, your whole fucking East Coast crew. Anything else, Derek?
Word. No, I'm excited to hear some stuff coming out of the studio and stuff. I'm really. It's great how you're able to step out of your comfort zone. That's I think the biggest. It takes a lot of balls to do that. Not a lot of artists are doing that.
Hell no.
Thank you, man.
It's really great. So
I'm
excited for you, man.
I already hear that Heavy Chain demo though.
Yeah, Heavy
keep
Chain.
Keep that in the closet, dude. We're gonna keep that thing hidden.
It's such a great name though, man. Fuck.
Well, there was Heavy Chain's the hardcore band after that. Not that they would have any way of knowing about
that's right.
Heavy Chain, the weird rap thing that I did. Wow. But that was like kind of like my little joke. I was like, damn, they got my name. That's lit,
Right.
Are you good over there? Anything to say? You're chilling? You're good? All right, good. Well, thank you for being here. People can look you up as Jurstis on the gram. Let's just say it. It's Jurstie on Instagram. Jurdis.
Yeah, Jurdis.
It's close though.
But Justice Tripp, I keep thinking like Justice Tripp, just this one trip. Get it? Justice Tripp.
What?
Just this trip.
Oh,
I thought about that last night.
That's cool. I've never heard of that before. I like that. I'm gonna start using that.
Like Justice Trip. Just this one trip.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
down.
just your one trip of fucking Angel Dust is going to try.
Just that one trip.
Just this trip.
Just this trip.
I don't know how I've never used that before.
Just this trip. That's a great name for a band.
Yeah.
What?
Just this trip.
There we go.
Bro, I just fucking somebody's going to take it from this. Okay?
I know. They're definitely going to take it.
It'd be real weird if somebody was using my name as their artist name, but my government name.
Will there be another Trapped Under Ice record?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
Oh, you were?
I was.
Okay.
I do believe so. Like, we have songs.
Okay.
Like, life's definitely crazy. It's hectic. Like, people are having babies left and right, and it's cool. Like, I love seeing, those are my brothers, and like seeing their families, my family, watching my family grow is incredible.
Yeah.
But it does mean that, less opportunity, and we've talked about it. Like, we have plans to like just gonna be at a pace. And
of course.
Take your time.
Never gonna be that band out there grinding, but we're really lucky that people like still care about something we did.
Awesome.
And that we can keep doing it on our time is incredible.
And learn about it. I mean, I'm learning about it. So I mean, there's always people like that.
That's cool.
It's really cool about music.
Last random question: do you want to be a dad ever?
Hell yeah.
I can see that.
Okay.
I can see you being a good dad. Yeah, he's being a dad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that. Like,
starting a family and shit.
I don't know when exactly, but
how old are you?
35.
Yeah,
you got
fucking
time.
Young,
bro.
You
got
time.
Young. Yeah, young man.
Isn't it, dude, it's crazy.
When you have 100 kids.
Yeah, when did you join Sepultura? How old were you?
I was 27. I was already thinking I'm old.
I started H2O at 26. It's so late compared to these kids.
That's
it's
crazy.
late in the game, yeah.
I know, dude.
I was like, damn, I'm old. 27.
It's so crazy though. Like these guys starting fucking
young buck.
Kids going to shows 11 years old and shit.
Yeah. Well, you look at like Youth of Today, Minor Threat, and they're like kids.
True.
So I was like, man, I had such a late start. Like, I'm just never gonna go anywhere. Just 20 years old when I started touring. It's all downhill from here, you know.
Oh my god. Starting earlier today, nowadays.
Like his band was
Nandy,
young.
you remember like Nandy? She's like 10.
Oh yeah, Nandy the drummer.
Just like,
shout out
I'm
Nandy.
rocking out with Foo Fighters.
Yo,
the
oh my
Forum.
But even his
Playing every instrument.
That girl's incredible.
Yeah, we had her on the
incredible.
pod with her family.
Her
It was
energy
awesome,
is
man.
off.
You guys did a podcast with
Yeah,
her?
she came here with her
Yeah,
family. It was
she was
great.
here.
Yeah.
I gotta.
She's. It was her first podcast.
I gotta tap
She
in.
was like playing with Stella. I was like, oh yeah, she's a kid.
No, she was great. Her dad. She was fucking so cool. I mean, they played with
She's
Foo Fighters that week. Yeah.
So talented and so happy. Is she that happy?
Yeah.
It was like that?
Bro.
Yeah, she's
Parents are doing something right.
psyched.
Yeah, great
she's
parents.
so hyped up.
And in real life, she's just a fucking kid who wants to play with a dog.
Yeah.
She was like
Pretty
saying a
much.
couple.
I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I thought here's this incredible musician. Like, so tell us what's going on, Andy. And she's like, oh, this dog is so fluffy.
I want a
It's
dog,
so
daddy.
cute. I want a dog, daddy.
And then like 2 days later, she's at the Forum playing with Foo Fighters
Yeah.
that same week, bro. It's
Like a G. Like it wasn't phasing her at all.
Killed it. She
I
sounds
know.
Killed it.
I
better
surprised.
than
Yeah. I surprised her with a FaceTime call from Brad Wilk from Rage. So I had him call during the podcast and talk to her.
No
It's
way.
one of her favorite drummers. Yeah, it was beautiful,
God, I
man.
can't believe
Aw.
this
She was
is happening.
freaking out. But yeah, Max's band's a high school band, Rend.
I
He started
know,
fucking early,
man.
playing at record stores and shit. I was like, damn, I was a roadie back then. I was seeing the world, but it all worked out, I guess.
It all worked out.
All right, Justice, you're the best. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having me.
man. Great fucking combo. Way overdue. The new generation just fucking set it off on here, and I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for
That was
having me.
great. Yo, Circle Jerks, Wild in the Streets 40th year anniversary of their vinyl has been re-released on Trust Records. It's remastered, it has bonus tracks, there's a 20-page booklet. You can catch Circle Jerks on tour right now. Shout out to my man Joey C. If you go to trustrecordscompany.com, you can get tickets, you can get merch, you can get vinyl, and use my code TRUSTLIFE, all caps, TRUSTLIFE, and get 20% off. Make sure you cop that 7 Seconds merch and that remaster of The Crew, one of my favorite albums. Also, they're on Instagram, trust_records_company. I love you, Trust Records. Thank you for preserving and making all the music I love available for years and years and years and bringing it back for all the new kids and new generation. Love y'all. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this podcast, please do that. And whatever platform you are listening to this on, I'm glad you found me. You can rate me and review me on there also. So thank you guys sincerely for the support. I cannot wait for you guys to hear the next one.